Because you never know when you're walking by and like, oh my gosh, an emperor butterfly. Hey everybody, I'm Jammer, and welcome to the first of many more Animal Crossing videos. If you're new here, you've come to the right place, that's for sure. As many of you already know, I am a massive, huge Animal Crossing fan. And I couldn't have been more excited for the announcement of Animal Crossing 2019 Nintendo Switch coming out next year. Oh yeah, can't wait. And while the release is very far off, probably even a year from now even, doesn't mean we can't talk about it, baby. With this series, I want to talk about a lot of the new ideas I have for this next game, what they could incorporate, but I also want to bring together this community of Animal Crossing fans. I want to make this series more of a conversation, taking a lot of your questions, a lot of your theories, a lot of your ideas from comments, and bring them into future episodes of this video stuff. We have a lot to talk about. There are a lot of great ideas to go through, but today I wanted to start simple. I didn't want to go too out of there. I still have a lot of things just to process myself, to think about what I want to do, but I want to talk we're talking about tools today. Just tools. As many of you already know, tools are basically items that your character can equip lets the player perform activities. There's tools for gardening, such as the axe to cut down trees and the watering can to water flowers. There's stuff for collecting, like going fishing, using the net to collect bugs, or even using the fossil to dig up gyroids or fossils. Yeah, these items have been a staple of the series around since the original on GameCube. The only two new ones being really the slingshot for Wild World, I guess if you want to consider it the wetsuit for New Leaf. Because the game puts a heavy emphasis on using these tools, they're basically always on the players at all times. They're always in your pockets, because you never know when you're walking by and like, oh my gosh, an emperor butterfly. Or you walk along, oh my gosh, that's a shark fin. That could be, And you never know when villagers ask you to, hey, catch this bug, or catch this fish, or dig, or if you maybe run across an X on the ground and there's maybe a fossil there. You don't want to have to go all the way back to your house, get your tool, go all the way back to where it was, dig it up, and then go all the way back to, no, that's not how it happens. So most players just keep them always on hand. But because you're always bringing these tools around, now you're taking up permanent spots in the inventory, significantly lowering the amount of stuff you can carry. That sucks. And what many players have been doing, well, again, since GameCube, is they use the mail slots as additional inventory slots for their tools. Basically what you do is you have an empty letter that you've read, or you're writing, or doesn't really matter. Take their tools and dump them in those letter slots so that free up actually regular slots in their inventory. You can't put fish or bugs in the letters, so it just makes sense. There's a place to put tools. And you think after 4 games of players doing this, the developers think,
you know, these tools are integral to gameplay. Players always need them on hand. Maybe we should do something about the fact that they're putting them in the letters.
Look, using letters as extra storage, that's great. But is it really something that the game designers designed for what player... Like, is that the intentional design of the game, for players to put tools in the letters? No. No, it's not. So why is that still a thing? I propose that maybe they introduce a new type of pocket inventory tab, I guess, where essentially on your inventory slot there's a little toolbox icon. You click it, maybe it has a couple additional rows of inventory slots where you can put tools. Tools include, you know, your standard fishing rod, bug net, shovel, watering can, axe, as well as maybe the diving suit, maybe the timer, and perhaps maybe even other new tools that might be introduced in this new game. This would be a great way to offer players the flexibility of being able to have all their tools on them when they need it, but not take up more inventory slots by wasting that or putting them in letters. This could create a problem, making the player take an extra step to actually access their tools. First they have to pause, then they have to click on the toolbox, then they have to click on the tool and drag it up, and then it's like, that's just an extra step, and sometimes you just need to pull all those tools quick. In City Folk, they introduced a new system where you can actually toggle between your tools by clicking left or right on the D-pad. A way to quickly equip your tool so then you can catch a bug before it just runs off, or catch a fish before it gets scared away, and making it so the players don't have to be constantly in their inventory changing their tools. But while that was a great way to speed things up, it kind of was like a mess, because you'd kind of toggle through them in order. So if you needed one thing that was in the middle, you had to go, okay, fishing rod, okay, net, okay, there we go, shovel. And once you unequip the shovel, well, now your inventory is a mess, because now all those things are all over the place. So if they're taking advantage of the D-pad by letting players, you know, toggle through their tools in that way, why not just fully take advantage of it? why not let it so you can actually bind tools to the different D-pad buttons through your toolbox? Whereas the first 4 items in the row of your toolbox maybe are bound to the D-pad. So maybe if you put the fishing rod in the first position, that'll be the up arrow on the D-pad. So you can still hold more than just 4 tools, but maybe you want to put your 4 favorite ones all on that quick select menu. So you can pull out your rod, your shovel, your net really quickly. While tools like the axe you may not need all the time, wouldn't necessarily need to be on a quick select menu, but then you can still have it in your toolbox. I could see it going 2 different ways. I could see it being maybe a toolbox and it just having only 4 slots and you have to choose, 4 tools to put in there. Or a more convenient option where they actually let you put all your tools in the toolbox, only having 4 of them on the hotkeys. I also would love to see them expand the uses for the tools, because they really have served the same function as they always have since the beginning of the game, where the fishing rod catches fish, the net catches bugs. I'd love to see more unique ways to use these things. Like for example, in Animal Crossing GameCube, when Wisp would come to town, he would ask you to collect 5 little wisps for him, and then you could bring them to him and he'd give you an item, he'd pull weeds for you, whatever. But to catch the wisp, you actually had to use the bug net. Or the fishing rod, like how it's been used recently in Pocket Camp for the new fishing tourneys. You can catch tourney-specific fish with it, and then you can use that to trade to chip. Or maybe the slingshot could have a little more expanded versatility to it. Instead of the balloons only having balloon furniture in it, maybe giving a more variety of items that could come through it, or even provide maybe mini games where you could play and shoot stuff out of the sky. I think having the toolbox would really significantly improve the quality of life for players, making it a lot easier to not only select the right tool you need, but also kind of organize your inventory, because sometimes it's just a mess. And it'd be really helpful to not limit the players and give them the opportunity to have all the tools on them when they need it and not have to take up mail slots just to hold their tools. It's ridiculous. Before we wrap up, time for the question of the day. Feel free to answer this in the comments, and normally this question would be from the comments, but since it's the first episode, I'm making it up. And to kind of relate with today's theming, what is my favorite tool? And I have always loved the fishing rod. I don't know why, maybe just because I'm a water boy, but I have loved fishing in the ocean and fishing the river. Like, I don't know why I've always loved fishing. I think it's partly because of the mystery of what you're gonna get, because at least when you're catching bugs, you can see exactly what you're gonna catch. Obviously, there's some strategy involved, and it's not always guaranteed you're gonna get what you're gonna get, especially if you run up too quickly and scare it off. You can see right in front of you what you're going to get. While with fishing, you can kind of tell based on the silhouette, based on the sizing and stuff, and you have those memorized, like I do. You can kind of expect what it may be, but it always is a surprise every time you pull out of the water. I have so many fond memories in GameCube where it starts raining, I'm like,
oh my gosh, go to the freaking ocean. We're getting red snappers, we're getting bear night shot. We are paying off this loan.
So I guess it's part of that reason too, that fishing had always been a great way to build up a lot of capital so you could pay off your loan and stuff. So it always pushed me more and more to then using it. And then with Wild World, when they introduced sharks and like the fin fish, like I thought that was the most special and rare occurrences. I'm like, oh my gosh, what is that? Is that what is it? Oh. And then when you catch it, it's like a great white shark or a hammerhead shark, and you're like, holy cow, this is amazing. But I'm curious, what is your favorite tool? Definitely let me know that in the comments. Also, maybe post some new ideas you maybe have for future episodes. Maybe certain topics we could talk about, or even just questions for me. I love to create a more interactive format for this series, so where we're kind of working together to create themes and topics, and also talk Animal Crossing. I've always wanted to create an Animal Crossing community on this channel. I've never really had the greatest opportunity just because I never had a way to record New Leaf. All the older games are just older games. But this new game coming out, I really want to foster that with you guys, foster a community together. Just get excited for the game. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give this video a big awesome like. If you haven't already, definitely subscribe for tons more on oh my gosh, I almost said Super Smash Bros. Animal Crossing for Nintendo Switch. I have a lot of stuff planned for this, and I hope you guys really did enjoy this video. As a first video, obviously this was probably a little rough, but as going forward, I'll continue to improve the formula, and I think we're gonna have a lot of fun going into next year and the release of this game. So thanks again, guys, so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. See ya!